Coming up, Panhellenic struggles to find potential new members. And later, Stanley Art Museum finally opens its doors.
Has the Hawkeye offense finally figured things out? I'll explain more in sports.
Week 2 classes will be, for the most part, fantastic in the forecast. I'll tell you more in weather.
All that and more coming up on this Monday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere. The first episode back of DITV News starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Ashley Wheel. Just in time for the fall semester, a new venue has opened its doors on campus. DITV News reporter Wyatt Johnson has the details.
After the flood of 2008 forced the Stanley Art Museum to close its doors, they have finally reopened to the public. Hundreds of Iowans made their way to the museum for the grand opening this past weekend. Though now the public and museum staff get to enjoy the product of their work, it was anything but an easy road for museum director Lauren Lessing.
You know, I expected that there would be challenges. I knew we didn't have a building at the time that I said yes to this job. And I came here to make things happen.
In the nearly 2.5 years since breaking ground, the production team has had to endure the COVID-19 pandemic and numerous supply chain troubles. But for Lessing, these challenges could not have been handled without the help of those around her.
That having the staff that we do, who could take a 5-month delay and, getting art into the building and still open this exhibition on time. I mean, I am in awe of the people that I get to work with every day.
In addition to Jackson Pollock's mural and numerous other famed pieces, the museum offers several other attributes that aim to benefit the university itself.
So we want to cast a broad net on campus. So we're not just here for art and art history students. We're here for engineering students. We're here for medical students. We really want to support research, teaching, and learning across the curriculum, and we're ready to do that.
Though the construction obstacles and pandemic put Lessing and her team to the test these past few years, one thing is now for certain: art is here to stay in Iowa City. From the Stanley Art Museum, I'm Wyatt Johnson, DITV News.
And Iowa City held the 10th annual Latino Fest on Saturday. DITV News reporter Justina Borgman spoke with vendors to find out how the event affected their businesses.
Vendors from across the Midwest have traveled to Latino Fest to grow their customer base and celebrate the Latin culture.
Taco stands, food trucks, and vendors with handmade items filled the Ped Mall area.
My mom is working on trying to get a food truck and expand her business, so it's a great start to have her expand and get people to know her.
The Latino Fest kickstarted many of these small businesses, and afternoon and evening events attracted large crowds to each of the vendors. All the way from Nebraska, Julia traveled to Latino Fest to build a larger following and sell her handmade products.
Already a bunch of followers. Everybody's been buying everything, so I love it. I love Iowa City.
Saturday was a success for these vendors, and they plan to come back next year.
From downtown Iowa City, I'm Justina Borgman, DITV News.
And sororities at the University of Iowa are seeing a decline in the number of girls signing up for this year's primary recruitment. Daily Iowa News reporter Emily Nyberg is live in the newsroom to tell us more. Emily, what have you found to be the cause of this decline?
Yes, the amount of girls signing up for sorority recruitment has been declining for the past 2 years. This decline was thought to be the result of the COVID-19 pandemic, but as restrictions open up this year, numbers have not returned to their pre-pandemic height. In talking with freshmen around campus, a lack of safety in Greek life seems to be an influential factor.
And what are the safety concerns that are being brought up?
Sexual assault and hazing allegations against fraternities here at the University of Iowa over the past 2 years were brought up with concerns of being put in dangerous situations. Specifically, students have concerns over the 2020 events concerning the Fiji fraternity. But it's important to mention that even with low enrollment numbers and safety concerns, there are still over 400 people signed up for primary recruitment, so it is by no means the end of sorority life here at the University of Iowa. Back to you, Ashley.
Thanks. And now let's actually throw it to Ethan so we can hear if we can expect any rain today.
Yeah, Ashley, so we have a fantastic forecast ahead of us this week, but unfortunately, all that starts tomorrow. Today, we are expecting some rain in the later afternoon, but that may not be all bad, as we are also expecting some serious heat later on today. Today is supposed to be hot with a high of 87 and a low of 66 with rain. Tomorrow, we can expect a high of 82 and a low of 61 with sun. Wednesday will be hot again with a high in the mid-80s, but a cool low of 57 degrees. Rounding off the work week, Thursday and Friday will be almost identical with highs in the mid-80s and low in the high 50s with sunny skies. Now, Michael, I hear that since Iowa's school is back in session, so are sports. Can you tell us more?
Thanks, Ethan. Last season, the Hawkeyes were able to reach the Big Ten Championship, win 10 games, and even get an invite to Orlando for the Citrus Bowl. They did all of this behind a shaky offense. The Hawkeyes didn't rank in the top 90 in any major offensive category, and the focus this summer has been progression from within.
No one's happy with how we performed or what we did last season, but this year especially, just trying to, at the end of the day, look, we want to be effective, we want to be efficient. What can we do to improve there?
With the Hawkeyes' lack of experience in the wide receiver room, the impact of senior Nico Reganey is more than what he does on the field.
I mean, from day one, honestly, Nico's been a big help. I think Nico's going on his 5th year. Can't remember. Got here in like Stone Ages, so you know he's almost experienced everything. So I like to call him Gramp sometimes because he's like 4 or 5 years older than me. But we always pull his leg. But it's great to have Nico sit next to me because like maybe if I'll see some things on film that I don't really understand because like I'm much more confident than I was last year. But if I see something I don't really like, I'll ask him, and he has a lot of experience under his belt, so he can really help me out with stuff like that.
Iowa will also need to replace the production from veteran running back Tyler Goodson. But after an impressive Citrus Bowl where the Williams Bros combined for over 150 yards of total offense, the Hawks are very excited for their new running back duo.
All of us have been really impressed with the growth that Gavin and LaShawn have shown, especially particularly last fall. So we felt confident that they'd play well in the bowl game. They did, and they've done nothing but grow and improve since that time. So the good news is we feel like we have 2 backs. Even though they haven't played a lot, we feel like they have, and feel we have total confidence in them.
Iowa will have their chance to show off their new and improved offense this Saturday against South Dakota State. And the Iowa soccer team got back in the win column yesterday after defeating DePaul University 4-0. The Hawks have dealt with injuries all year, but adding Kenzie Rowling and Addison Bunny back to the offense definitely helped things out.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's been a long month with regards to the injuries and to get some people come back. And it's not just about getting those injured back. It's about keeping those who are on the field healthy.
The Hawkeyes improved to 2-2 on the young season and now prepare for the 2-2 Pacific Tigers. This game will take place at the UI Soccer Complex on Thursday at 7 p.m. And the Iowa field hockey team started their season with a tough 2-game road trip. Iowa and Wake Forest would battle it out in a game that was so intense it needed double overtime just to crown a winner. Anika Urbine would hit the game-winning shot in the 74th minute to seal the Hawks' victory. This would be head coach Lisa Salusi's 100th career victory, making her the 4th head coach in program history to reach this milestone. Unfortunately, the Hawkeyes could not continue this momentum into their matchup against the number 2 ranked Tar Heels, losing 3-2 in yet another overtime thriller. Iowa will host Boston University at 3 p.m. at Grant Field for their home opener. Now back to you, Ashley.
Thanks, Michael. And this morning, NASA planned to launch their next exhibition to the moon. The Artemis 1 had an uncrewed lunar landing intended to pave the way for more moon missions to come. This mission will last 3 weeks and test equipment meant to be used in future Artemis missions. Artemis 3, the final mission, will be the first crewed moon landing in 50 years. Due to fuel leaks as of 7:40 this morning, the launch was scrubbed but will be postponed. Thank you for tuning in to DITV News. Be sure to head over to thedailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday, and tune in Wednesday morning at 8:30 a.m. for another news and sports update. For DITV News, I'm Ashley Wheel. Have a great day.